Hey everybody, it's Alicia from Graceful Plants, and I got plant mail. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know, a few weeks ago I had surgery, so laid up on the couch with pretty much nothing that I could really do. So I spent a little bit of time surfing plant websites. And it just so happens that I got a little bit of money for Christmas, and my husband told me that I needed to spend it on myself for once, since I never spend money on myself, ever. I'm a responsible adult and spend every pretty much penny that I have on bills and adult responsibilities and all that crap. So in the coming weeks, I will have a few plant unboxings. This one is actually from Gabriella Plants, and it's the first time I've ever ordered from them. There's 3 plants in here, and 2 of them were wish list plants. So I'm pretty excited to open this and to see how they did, because it is January in Wisconsin, and we are about to enter a blizzard, is what I'm being told. Yesterday it was, you know, high 30s, low 40s, and this morning it was -3. So welcome to Wisconsin. So I'm kind of curious to see how these shipped. Gabriella Plants is in Florida and I'm Wisconsin, so it's a straight shot up. The shipping was extremely quick, so I'm hoping that everything looks good in here. So I'll quit jibber jabbering and I will actually get to opening this box. And I had a feeble attempt to kind of scratch out my address on the top of this box, but the permanent marker that I grabbed to do it was actually a dry erase marker, so all I did was smudge green all over the place. So everything looks like it is packed pretty nicely in here. Everything was selected and treated by Shane. So I did get a heat pack, which is actually still warm, so that is good. Just because, like I said, Wisconsin weather is kind of temperamental, and I really didn't want to risk, you know, having cold damage to these. So, so I can already tell there is a little bit of frost damage to this plant that's hanging out the end, but I think we might be okay, because the rest of these leaves are looking good, or at least so far. So it was wrapped really nicely, and it looks like it kind of shook out of its pot a little bit. So I'll try to open this carefully and avoid spilling any more dirt. Wow. So these guys are looking good. If you can see, around the top of the plant they put batting in there to try to hold some of the dirt in, which it did. It looks like the box might have gotten dropped and the plant just kind of got dislodged out of the pot a little bit, so I don't really think it's any fault of... I just dropped dirt in my lap. It's okay. So if you can see, this is a Silvery Ann, and she's a long girl, but these are also the leaves that were sticking out of the end of the packing. And I don't know if this is going to focus on it or not, but this is what happens when plants are exposed to cold temperatures. It's kind of, they melt. So if you're in an area that doesn't have the cold like we do here, this is what happens to our plants if they get touched by the cold. They turn black and mushy. So I'll probably end up cutting these guys off just so they won't bounce back. But wow, there are quite a few vines in there, and that's a good looking plant. So Yay. So far, so good. So this was not a wish list plant. It was just a plant that I've been kind of curious about. Dun, da, da, da. Oh, I love that. So this is a Calathea rufibarba. I'm not saying that right. I can tell you that it just does not flow off my tongue when I'm saying it out loud. But it is so soft. It's a velvety Calathea. And oh, I'm just gonna sit here and keep stroking my leaves. That's pretty cute. It's so soft. I wish you guys could feel how soft these leaves are. Last one. So this one also looks like it got a little bit of cold damage. You can see quite a little bit of melted leaves. Ta-da-da. Yeah. And this is a silver satin pothos, which is a little hard to see. Let's see if I can find a good leaf to show you right now. So this guy, look at how big these leaves are. We do the Kaylee Ellen head test on that guy. You can kind of see. That's a good sized leaf. But like the Silvery Ann, there's a little bit of cold damage to these guys. All these wilty melted leaves I'll cut off. And this one actually looks like there might be more cold damage at the bottom here. Some of these leaves are a little moist, so I'm just gonna leave them and see what happens if it's just moisture or if it's actual cold damage. So I am all in all overall pretty pleased with this order. I knew that ordering plants in the middle of winter was kind of a risk, but Gabriella Plants also has a winter protection policy that if you purchase the heat pack and this winter protection, that if the plants do come damaged, that Gabriella, I don't know if they replace or refund your plants, but you'll be taken care of. So if it's kind of like a little bit of reassurance, and everything was packed really well. Like I said, the heat pack is still warm. These are some of my wish list plants. Did anyone else have a Silvery Ann or a silver satin on their wish list, or even this fuzzy little Calathea? I'm seriously in love with how soft these leaves are. But yeah, if you had these on your wish list, let me know in the comments below. I've kind of been on a hiatus for the past month and a half, so I'm finally getting back into filming videos now that I'm starting to finally feel better. So thank you for everyone that has stuck with me. And as always, you guys are all awesome. Thank you so much for everyone that has commented on my videos, who sent me messages, checking it up in on me to make sure I was still alive. I'm alive. Hey everybody, it's Future Alicia. And I'm just going to hopefully do a long story short synopsis of what actually happened with my Gabriella Plants order. So as you saw in the video, when I was unboxing the silver satin plant, something didn't quite look right, but I couldn't put my finger on it, like what actually was going on with it, but it just didn't look right. And as you saw, there was a little bit of leaf melting from, I would assume, cold exposure on those end leaves. So I did send an email to Gabriella Plants saying, hey, my plants are okay, but there is a little bit of leaf melting, so I just wanted to be proactive and send an email right away, just in case, woke up the next morning and my plants were completely melted once they started warming up and they all died overnight. Fast forward, next morning, woke up, plants looked beautiful, there was no more melting, they looked great, but I actually took a closer look at that silver satin plant, and I will insert a picture over here and see if you can see what I was seeing. But in this 4-inch plant, it was actually half silver satin and half exotica. It was not a full pot of silver satin. So, so that kind of threw me for a second, because when I did the head test on the silver satin, but I was actually using an exotica leaf, and in my head I was like, wow, these leaves are huge. Well, yeah, it was an exotica leaf. It wasn't a silver satin leaf. So, I sent another email to Shane saying, hey, that email that I sent you last night about the leaf melting, it's fine. The plants look good. However, my silver satin isn't a full silver satin. And I was more or less saying it as kind of a heads up, because I don't know if this was a one plant mistake, or if this was a huge batch that was planted incorrectly. I sent that email off. So I got an email back from Shane saying, hey, I'm sorry about that. The two plants aren't going to cross contaminate, pollinate each other. You don't have to worry about that. And I was like, cool, fine. Thought that was going to be the end of it. Well, in the meantime, between that last email and this, I had decided to repot that plant. I know, you're not supposed to repot, but it was driving me nuts. Having two different plant types in one pot was driving me nuts. This is where the issue comes in. I went to go repot them, and mind you, I ordered a silver satin. Half of my plant was only the silver satin, and half of the silver satin was not even rooted. They were just stuck in the soil. There was no roots to them. That is when I started to get a little annoyed. At this point, I sent another email saying, hey, this plant isn't full silver satin, and half of it's not even rooted. It is what it is. And all I had said in the email is, is it possible that I could get a small, and I said small, if I could get a small credit possibly to use towards a future order. I didn't want a replacement plant. I didn't want a full refund. At this point, I was over it, and I just wanted a small refund or a small credit to use towards a future order. That's it. The very next email that I got, all it said, no hi, no nothing. All it said was, we do not honor claims for plants that have been ripped apart. Period. Nothing else. That's all it said. Okay. And at that point, I had gotten really upset, because that was extremely unprofessional. I don't know who they were training, but it was not a good response back to me. So I replied back with quite a lengthy response, basically saying, hey, I wasn't asking for a full refund. I was just asking for a small credit. Give me $5 towards shipping of my next order, that I can order plants from you. And the next response did come back from Shane, and he said, hey, I'm sorry that you've been dealing, with this issue. We've got a new plant coming out to you, which was extremely nice of them, because that isn't what I was asking for. This all started off with me saying, hey, FYI, and digressed into this. And it really put a bad taste in my mouth. The response that I got back from Shane did put me a little bit at ease, thinking, this is probably from someone that they're training, that they need to be trained better on email response etiquette. But I did appreciate, the new plant being sent out. It was a gorgeous plant. The plants that I received to begin with were gorgeous plants. And I don't want this to come off negatively towards Gabriella Plants, because their plants were absolutely gorgeous. They were packed and delivered in great condition. It is basically the email chain that I was really put off by. But I did want to include this little FYI at the end of the video, because if you're like me, you're going to be watching this video and go, something don't quite look right with that plant. So I just kind of wanted to give you an FYI that, yes, that there was something a little off with my silver satin. I've been going back and forth whether I should include all of this at the end of the video, because people love Gabriella Plants. So I don't want people to be like, you're talking badly about them. That's not my intention. My intention is just to include what I went through, because isn't that the point of watching unboxing videos, is to kind of see how other companies ship their plants, their customer service, their plants in general. So I feel like if I didn't include this, I would be kind of doing an injustice. So again, I don't want this to come off negatively towards them. I just wanted to give you the rest of the story. But as always, you guys are awesome. Please make sure to share this video or any of my other videos with your plant loving friends. We'll see you next time. Bye guys.